Hello and welcome to Women in Retail Talks. I'm Ashley Taradio, Senior Content Strategist at the Women in Retail Leadership Circle. And today I'm joined by Genevieve Rosen-Biller, founder and CEO of BedThreads, a leader in carbon neutral bedding. Today we're going to be chatting about how Genevieve founded BedThreads as a side hustle while working 9 to 5 as a journalist and realizing it was impossible to find high quality and affordable bedding, what role social media has played in the company's success, and so much more. So Genevieve, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashley. I really appreciate your time and that lovely warm intro.
So like I mentioned, you founded BedThreads originally as a side hustle. I was hoping you could tell us a little bit more about that and how BedThreads became your full-time career.
Absolutely. So I guess the whole journey kind of took me by surprise, to be honest. I had always envisioned becoming a journalist since the age of 10. All I really wanted to ever do was write or work in a magazine and interview interesting people. And I had done that for about 10 years, holding various editorial roles at a range of publications, pretty much all digital. And back in 2014, I moved into a new apartment with my husband, and I had basically outfitted the whole place with white goods, furniture, home decor. And the last thing that I had to do was just find some simple bed linen for my bedroom. And basically, I'm a big online researcher. So I had done a lot of research online, and I really was intent on purchasing 100% linen bedding. So not a blend of cotton or a different fiber. I was really, not interested in getting synthetics or a blend that, blended a natural fiber with a synthetic to make it cheaper. And I had read about all the benefits of linen, that it keeps you cool in summer, warm in winter, and was a real trans-seasonal option, perfect to keep you comfortable while you slept all year round. And basically at the time, what I found was everything in pure linen was quite inaccessible to a young person. So everything was quite expensive and it was difficult to get a hold of. And I found that I was priced out of that option. And then everything in, a price point that was accessible to me at the time was not pure 100% linen. So it was a blend, or it looked like linen, but it was, crafted from a different fiber, or it was, not personally the aesthetic that I was after for my home. I think the great thing about linen is that it doesn't need to be over styled. It's simple. It can be, quite minimalistic, and it can instantly elevate any space it's styled into. It's, got a relaxed and refined finish. It's kind of perfectly imperfect. And I just wasn't finding anything else like that in the market. So at the time, I was working as a journalist, and I basically just said to my husband, Alan, who very conveniently has a background in wholesale and retail and sourcing products. That's what he did previously, sourcing non-perishable goods for larger retailers, kind of like as a, I don't like to use the word middleman because he had a business of his own, but he was sort of the go-between between manufacturers and larger retailers looking for non-perishable goods in their stores. So things like toolkits or first aid kits, chopping boards, that kind of stuff. So I basically said to him, I'm really interested in linen sheets for our home. This is what I found. We're completely priced out of this option. Is there a way to do this product cheaper? So what we found was, yes, there absolutely is a way to do it cheaper if you go direct to consumer. And, this was years ago now. It took us 2.5-ish years to actually, from when we conceived the idea to bringing the product to market. On the 31st of August 2017 is when we launched. But we found that all other players in the bedding space that were local at the time were either working off a wholesale model, so they were sourcing the product, and then selling it on to larger retailers or smaller boutiques, or they were larger retailers with a large network of retail stores that they had to support. And so their prices were driven upwards. And I guess, at the time, especially in Australia, direct to consumer wasn't such a big buzzword, but we thought, other people our age might be interested in this product just as we are. And if we just, design it and make sure it's really beautiful aesthetically and comfortable to sleep in, and I guess kind of ticked all the boxes that I was looking for as a shopper, other people would be interested in the product too. So I guess it took us, 2.5 years from when we initially spotted that gap in the market in late 2014 until launching in, quite late 2017. And that included dealing with multiple manufacturers, sourcing sample upon sample, testing the product in every color, making sure all of our colors that we wanted to start with. So we started with 6 colors in linen, and all we started with, I should mention this, is just a simple bedding set with 2 pillowcases, a duvet cover, and a fitted sheet. So something really simple in one package, delivered to your door for free. And I think that, things naturally grew from there. So after we launched, we actually sold out of our first round of stock in 3 weeks, which was a really incredible and, I guess, humbling experience, because we were going on a feeling that if we liked the product and believed in it, hopefully other people would find it to be, useful to them, and it would enhance and elevate their time at home. But I guess selling out so quickly was a huge surprise to us, and things kind of grew from there.
That's so interesting. And it really sounds like the quality and the reasonable pricing, because it's D2C, is what makes Bed Threads different than other bedding brands.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's pivot a little bit. During the pandemic, people were obviously spending more time in their homes.
Yeah.
How did this affect Bed Threads? Did you notice more consumers investing in bedding?
Yeah, so it was really interesting. I guess, at first we weren't really sure how it was going to affect our business, and we're still a new business. But yeah, we did see an uplift in new customers. I think people had kind of noticed, what they were maybe missing out on at home by all the time we had to spend at home last year. And it was really interesting for us as a business, because at the start of 2020, all we were offering to our customers was bedding and, a linen robe and a selected curation of homewares from smaller brands and makers. And then by the end of 2020, by virtue of us being home the whole year, we expanded into bath. So we have a full toweling range now, and, a curated selection of bath and beauty products that are all eco-friendly and, packaged with biodegradable packaging, or it's recyclable. And I guess thinking about how we were using that space at home more than ever last year, we also had launched a range of tablewares entitled Spreads by Bed Threads. So tablecloths, napkins, placemats, which has been really successful. I think there has been a revival of the dinner party and entertaining at home as things have started to open up a bit. I think people have a different relationship to their home, and they have a different appreciation for entertaining. Whereas before, I think people of our demographic were more inclined potentially to just go out to a restaurant with friends, if that was kind of on the agenda for the weekend. And then we also launched a wider range of sleepwear. Loungewear was obviously something everyone was thinking about last year, being comfortable at home. So our loungewear, sleepwear, bathwear is all crafted from the same 100% French flax linen our bedding is made from. And it's very it's been, yeah, really interesting to see how we can serve our customers at different points and at different parts of their journey at home.
Yeah, that's a great point about entertaining in your homes and investing in good loungewear during the pandemic. You talked a little bit about this in the beginning about Bedthreads being a digital native brand. What advantages does that give you over your competitors besides pricing?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what our competitors' strategies are necessarily, but I know for us being digital native and digital first has been absolutely incredible as a new business. So I think that firstly, you have such a close relationship with your customers. You can see what they're responding to, what they're liking, what are they searching for on your website that they're potentially not finding. We have a robust editorial strategy that we can see what kind of content people respond to, and, you know, is there any potential gaps in our product range that we can kind of sense people are looking at. People loved bathroom content and they loved recipes and home decor content that we were just producing kind of as a service to our community, because, you know, those things are adjacent topics, for example, to bedding and being at home. But we thought, wow, there potentially could be products here that people are interested in adjacent to the content we're producing. So I think, you know, that's kind of a separate pillar of what we do at Bedthreads. Our journal and our content and our digital marketing strategy is so driven by that side of things. But I guess, yeah, being a digital native brand, you have a really close relationship to your customers. You can see what they like instantly or not. You've kind of got this instant feedback loop, and it's very easy for a new business to kind of pivot and change course when things aren't working, or really kind of, you know, focus on things that are working when you're seeing such great results straight away. I mean, we've been on Instagram now, operating as a brand for almost 4 years. And we actually started our Instagram and our email marketing list before we launched our website and our brand officially. So about 6 months before we launched our website, we had an Instagram page with a link in bio saying, you know, subscribe to our newsletter. The best sleep of your life is on its way, or, you know, something cute like that. And when we launched, we had this really warm audience of digital native customers who were ready to shop with us online and had already kind of subscribed to our brand's aesthetic and ethos. And we had a bit of buy-in from them about, you know, being a pure linen bedding brand, direct to consumer, offering a luxurious but accessible product online and delivered to your door for free in this convenient set that no one else was doing, or, you know, still does to this day. And I think that, yeah, being digital native, it's just so wonderful to be able to serve your customers instantly and figure out how to enhance their experience online, or, you know, move very quickly if potentially you've made a mistake or your judgment wasn't quite 100% correct.
Gotcha. And you talked about Instagram and the role social media has played in the success of Bedthreads. You also launched a content section on your website called Journal, which features tips and home tours and fun stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how the consumer is reacting to that content?
Absolutely. So I guess the journal happened very organically, in the sense that I was a journalist and my area of expertise was content and driving people to websites online through high quality, long, in-depth features and interesting articles. And I guess when we started, we had a very lean marketing budget. And I knew that through high quality digital content, that was one way of getting people to your website and getting people interested in, you know, potentially your product, and also just educating them about your brand and your values without kind of, you know, bombarding them with constant sales messaging. So the journal's a huge focus of our business, and we've got 5 people on our content team, which is quite large for a brand, or not. Maybe in the US that's par for the course, but you know, we've got a social media manager, a content editor, a content director, a writer, and, you know, a network of freelancers. I'm definitely missing someone, but anyway, a network of freelancers who contribute to the journal. And I suppose how that's evolved is we run Bed Threads like a digital publication. We've got multiple deadlines a day. We're seeding out that content on social media, and we're engaging our audience through content. And it's also a nice way of us giving back to the amazing Bed Threads community, that they have a reason to come back to us that isn't just to do with shopping. So another thing that we do at Bed Threads, which I'm really proud of, is a home tour series every Sunday night where we go into the homes of inspiring creatives. It's called The Makers. And we photograph them at home and outfit their bed with Bed Threads linen. And it's really nice for them because they are platformed to potentially a new audience. And we're able to show our audience a cool and interesting person who might be an artist or a musician or a chef. So they can go and support that person's business and learn about what they do. And our audience can also see our products in situ and put them into context, you know, and see it in different homes. And we've done, you know, so many now that there's definitely a home somewhere in the journal for everyone that would resonate. And, you know, people are then able to imagine how the products might look in their home, and it brings the brand a lot of warmth, I think. So I guess that's on content. And in terms of Instagram, I mean, I'm so grateful to have access to social media in this day and age. And when I started Bed Threads, I was working full time, and I didn't have the opportunity necessarily to go get a store lease and outfit a store. It's such a huge job, and it's really an area which, you know, is quite mystifying, that I don't really know anything about. And it's very intimidating because you don't know how people are necessarily going to respond to your product in those early stages, and you might not have the means or the confidence. And I just think with social media, you can really test the market and test your product. And as I mentioned before, get that instant feedback loop going and adjust your proposition accordingly. So, you know, focus on the things that really work or not, and try to fix those. And having access to social media has, completely, you know, given us the opportunity to reach so many people, not just in Sydney where I live, but around the world. So it's, it's been amazing.
That's great. And so I thought we could end our conversation with any advice you have for other entrepreneurs who are trying to start their business.
It's a hard one because, you know, obviously I've made many mistakes and had many lessons along this journey. But I think that the most important thing, if you're starting a business, is your product should come first. So our product is something that we worked on for 2 or 2.5 years, let's say, and went through multiple rounds of sampling and, you know, really didn't stop. And I say this in quotation marks, but until it was perfect. And we've never changed the basis of that. Yes, we've grown into other colors and other products and released new verticals onto our website since then. But I think that you really need to finesse your product to the absolute best of your ability, that it's a genuine service to your customers and will genuinely enhance their life, because, you know, you can have the most beautiful website and shiniest Instagram page, but ultimately your product is everything. And I just cannot overstate how crucial that is to, I guess, growing and, advocating for your business. And then, onwards from that, your customers advocating for you and them recommending you to their friends and, leaving lovely feedback or nice reviews and all the kind of things will help your business. I think that, having a product that is just absolute best in class is crucial. And then you can kind of build everything out from there.
Well, Genevieve, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Women in Retail Talks and sharing your insight and telling us about Bed Threads.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to connect.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at womeninretail.com for show notes. Women in Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Women in Retail Talks.